is no God except Allah, that there is no deity worthy to be worshipped except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is the one and only, the eternal, the absolute. He begets not, nor is he begotten, and there is none that is comparable to him. And we bear witness and testify that Muhammad is his slave and final messenger. Peace and blessings be upon him. Peace and blessings be upon the prophets and messengers before him. Peace and blessings be upon his household, his family, his companions. And peace and blessings be upon those of us who follow his righteous sunnah, his teachings and tradition in the last day. Ameen. To proceed, my dear respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Normally it works better from the second time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. MashaAllah, the energy is great. Allahumma barik. So I already feel bad because I feel that I'm holding you from some good food. So here's what we're gonna do. And actually it happened before that, when the speaker kind of, prolongs, people just kind of make their way to the kitchen and, start their dinner. So I certainly, do not want this to happen. So we'll make a deal. I'll try to make it as short and sweet, and then we can go together, inshallah ta'ala, and enjoy some really good food. As always, this masjid every Friday night does. So people speak about food all the time after the, Friday night event, not necessarily about any topic that was discussed. So this is an interactive session. I'll seek your participation, inshallah ta'ala. So let's start with a rhetorical question, simple, yet, let's see what kind of answer we get. Can somebody tell me what Islam is? What is Islam? Akhlaqiyat, morals. Submission. Hit the nail on its head, mashallah. But what's after submission? This is half the answer. What's after submission? What do we get from submission? The 5 pillars of Islam. For us to do those 5 pillars of Islam, we have to submit. The result of that submission is having what we have been hammering on since 9/11 with everybody, interfaith, you name it. We've been saying Islam is peace, right? We've been saying Islam is peace. Islam comes from the root word salama, salam in Arabic, shalom in Hebrew. Islam is peace. But for us to attain that peace, we have to submit. We have to submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Islam, if we really want to define it in some simple English words, it is peace through submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So a Muslim is a person who submits to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in order to attain that inner peace within him or herself and outer peace with the surroundings. The topic of tonight is not about the peace part, because we've been hammering on that since like I said, since 2001, which is true, but we're going to try to focus a little bit on the submission part, on the taslim part, which is another root for the word, by the way. To submit, taslim, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So it will be in simple steps, 1, 2, 3. How can we attain that total, complete, and unconditional taslim, submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? And it's not from my own lousy head, because you don't want that, but it is from the Quran. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in no other than chapter of the women, Surah An-Nisa. He subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ فِي مَا شَجَرَ بَيْنَهُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَجِدُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَرَجًا مِمَّا قَضَيْتَ وَيُسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا. Let's break it down a little bit. فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. I swear by your Lord. Here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to His Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, telling him, I swear by your Lord, O Muhammad. فَلَا وَرَبِّكَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. They will not believe. Who they? Who they? Who are they? Which people? Muslims, the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, لا يؤمنون, they will not believe. حتى, until. And just to give you a sense of what hatta means, hatta in Arabic تفيد الغاية. There's a target, there's a goal that we have to score in. This is the World Cup season. We've all been following, I'm pretty sure. So, imagine playing soccer or football, as everybody calls it. 11 players, players, a referee, 2 linemen, 2 coaches, and a ball. And there are no goalies. Like there are no nets. Just passing the ball. It will be a very boring game, right? You need to score. You need, results. So al-ghaya, the target is to score goals, right? Imagine, playing basketball without the hoops. Doesn't make any sort of sense. Again, the hatta tufid al-ghaya. So when you hear hatta or read hatta, it means there's a goal, there's a target that you have to score in. So what is that target that we have to score in? Hatta yuhakkimuka fima shajara baynahum. Until they make you, O Muhammad, the judge, alayhi salatu wassalam, the judge, the referee, the reference. فيما شجر بينهم, on each and every matter they dispute upon. The scholars say this is the first step. This ayah has 3 steps. This is the first one, at-tahkim. To make the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam the referee, the judge. So what does that mean? It means that whatever you're trying to embark on, whatever it is, getting married, buying a house, traveling, whatever it is, accepting a job, whatever it is, you have to consult with the Prophet ﷺ first. And this is what the Sahaba used to do. So go and ask him. Okay, he was alive at the time ﷺ. What about us? Are we out of luck? He died ﷺ. He's not alive anymore. But he is the most well-documented personality that ever walked on the planet, for real. Everything is documented about it, even his hairstyle at, various days or various occasions. Everything that he said, everything that he did, even his silence was documented. You know why? Because his silence is a source of legislation. Do we know that? This is the definition of the word sunnah. Sunnah is not the 2 rak'at after maghrib or the dessert after food, because I know in the Desi culture you eat the fard first, which is the meal, and then the sunnah is the halwa, right? It's not that. It is كل قول وفعل وتقرير للنبي عليه الصلاة والسلام. Every saying, every action, every silent affirmation by the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام. So if he's silent, if something is happening in front of him, and he's silent, alayhi salatu wasalam, means that it's good. It's kosher, as they say, or it's okay. Because if there was something that he had to say, he would have said that. There's a particular feature that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, or a particular characteristic that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him that we don't have, but he alayhi salatu wasalam has. And that is عدم تأخير البيان عن وقت الحاجة. Not delaying bayan, explanation or saying something, عن وقت الحاجة, from the time that it is due, or than the time that it is due. You see, we may be, sitting and there's many things that's happening in front of us. We're not approving of it, but we're just silent because we're shy. Or we don't want to upset people, or we don't know what to say, or what have you. But the Prophet ﷺ is not like that. If there's something to be said, he will say something. If it is good, he will stay silent, and that's a source of legislation. That is from his Sunnah ﷺ. So back to so how do we make tahkeem with the Prophet ﷺ? How do we consult with him? How do we seek his judgment ﷺ? Through consultation with his sunnah, which is alive. It's in the books, and it's in the hearts and minds of the scholars. So we go and ask. So that is the first step. to attain that total submission that we want, that taslim, which is really what's going to make us gain the peace that we want, right, out of our Islam. That's the whole point. So say that we went and consulted with the Prophet ﷺ, we seeked his judgment, and there's an answer. And there is about 3 scenarios that I can think of after getting the answer. One, سمعنا وأطعنا. We're happy with the answer, listen and obey. MashaAllah. Amazing, right? That is what the believer has to be. Or the answer is, I really wanted that house. It's an amazing house. Has a swimming pool, 2-3 stories. But man, I can only get it with, riba or usury. Interest. What am I going to do? Many examples. And I, do not necessarily want to dig into our, or hijab, or this, or that. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses that in this ayah. When the answer comes, and you're like, man, that's tough. I need some time. I need to, I need to cope with this. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, حَتَّى يُحَكِّمُوكَ فِي مَا شَجَرَ بَيْنَهُمْ ثُمَّ لَا يَجِدُوا فِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَرَجًا مِمَّا قَضَيْتَ. SubhanAllah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows us. We're human beings. ثُمَّ, and then. You see, ثُمَّ in Arabic language gives you sequence of events, ترتيب مع التراخي في الزمن, with much delay in time. It's not swift like fa. Fa is right away, swift. ثم, there's some time involved. So ثم لا يجدوا في أنفسهم حرجا مما قضيت. And then, after some time, or until they find no haraj within themselves from what you have decided, O Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. The question is, what is haraj? Haraj is that, oh man, type, reaction. Haraj, hardship. Haraj, not being satisfied. Haraj, not being enthusiastic. Haraj, not being happy with the outcome. And you need some time until you find no haraj, no hardship within you from what the Prophet ﷺ have decided. And that time can vary among people. I'll give you an example. Sayyiduna Umar ibn al-Khattab in the famous hadith. The Prophet ﷺ said and explained that no one would attain total belief until the Prophet ﷺ is more beloved to one even more than him or herself. And Sayyidina Umar was very honest with the Prophet ﷺ. He said, you're more beloved, than my wealth, my family, everything except myself. I love myself. And so the Prophet ﷺ told him, you're not going to attain total belief until you make me more beloved to you than even yourself. What did Sayyidina Umar do at that moment? Does anybody remember from the hadith? أطرق برها. He kind of paused in time. He paused in time. Kind of like looking down, pausing in time. أطرق. For a short time. He came back to the Prophet saying, الآن يا رسول الله. Now, O Messenger of Allah. Meaning now you're more beloved to me than even myself. The Prophet's answer was to him, alayhi salam, الآن يا عمر. Now, O Umar. Meaning now you've attained total belief. So for Sayyidina Umar, because his iman was so high, it took him a moment in time. For us, in certain things, it might take us longer. Days, weeks, months, hopefully not years. And I pray that it's not a lifetime. It's like we need to suppress that desire or ego or whatever that is inside of us and hammer it just like, like we're raising ourselves again to be happy with the Prophet's decision, alayhi salatu wasalam, on whatever matter that is. So first step is at-tahkim, making the Prophet ﷺ the judge and consulting with him ﷺ. The second step is that haraj has to be not there, has to be gone. That hardship within us. We have to be like enthusiastic. Whatever he says, ﷺ, I'm happy with it. Then that house probably is not good for me nor my family. Just an example. Or that outfit that I want to, wear maybe is not good for me if it's not proper. طيب. ثم لا يجدوا في أنفسهم حرجا مما قضيت. Third step is ويسلموا تسليما. And you notice that there is the letter or the tool wa. Wa is حرف عطف. It gives you sequence, but تفيد المشاركة, meaning that kind of the second and third step may happen right after each other or kind of together. So like when I say, جاء محمد وعمر, Muhammad came and Amr came, it kind of gives you the sense that they entered together to this hall, for example. So, وَيُسَلِّمُ تَسْلِيمًا, once that haraj is removed, once you're happy with the Prophet's decision, alayhi salatu wassalam. So the first scenario is you're happy from the get-go, amazing, no time. Second scenario is you need some time, hopefully it's not that long. Third scenario is not that of a believer to start with, and that is to ignore. We are intelligent people with PhDs and, doctorates, and we're engineers. We have iPhones. We have, why am I going to listen to 7th, 8th century Bedouin Arabs, telling me what to do? Some people say that. That is dangerous. That's not that of a believer. Third step is, after that haraj is removed, having the right attitude, وَيُسَلِّمُ تَسْلِيمًا, and they will submission with tawqid lafzi, with verbal emphasis in the ayah. In Arabic, there's something called tawqid lafzi, verbal emphasis. وَيُسَلِّمُ تَسْلِيمًا, they will submit submission. So these practical steps in the ayah, not from my lousy head, will get us to that total submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Tahkim, haraj removed, submission. That was quick, as a matter of fact. Like, normally I take like an hour or so, going, through this. So mashallah, there's some barakah in here, and that's good. But here's an example. I'm going to share quickly, real life example. Again from the Quran, not from my lousy head, because you don't want that. From the story of Musa, the mother of Musa, of Prophet Musa. Peace and blessings be upon him, and peace and blessings be upon our Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wassalam. This ayah is amazing, and my teacher, may Allah have mercy on him, explained it so well. You're going to find it kind of like out of this world. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَأَوْحَيْنَا إِلَىٰ أُمِّ مُوسَى, and we have inspired the mother of Musa, أَنْ أَرْضِعِيهِ, to breastfeed him. فَإِذَا خِفْتِ عَلَيْهِ فَأَلْقِيهِ فِي الْيَمِّ, and if you feel dangers upon him, throw him in the river. That river is the Nile of Egypt. وَلَا تَخَافِي وَلَا تَحْزَنِي, and do not be scared and do not be sad. Wake up. إِنَّا رَادُّوهُ إِلَيْكِ, surely and verily we will return him back to you. وَجَعِلُوهُ مِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ, and we will make him one of the messengers. The scholars say this ayah has 2 commands, 2 prohibitions, and 2 promises. Just in this one ayah. Can somebody tell me what is the first command? And ardi'i, breastfeed him. Which is strange if you really think about it. Because no mother on this earth, even a cat mother or a dog mother, needs a direct order from anyone for that matter to breastfeed her baby. None. And there's a reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes that command. You'll find out later, inshallah. So the first command is an ardu'i, breastfeed him, which is weird, very strange. What's the second command? If you feel dangerous upon him, throw him in the river. Man, you say that to any mother, if you feel dangerous upon your baby, just put him in a box, throw him in the river, he'll be just fine. She's not going to do it, man. She'll call you crazy. But this is the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the second command. What is the first prohibition? Anybody remembers? The first nahi. وَلَا تَخَافِي. And do not be scared, do not be afraid. What is the second nahi, the second prohibition? وَلَا تَحْزَنِي. And do not be sad. Man, she cannot even be scared nor sad. That is tough, let me tell you. That's harsh, man. That's harsh. Very harsh on any mother. What is the first promise? Huh? إِنَّا رَادُّهُ إِلَيْكِ. Surely we will return him back to you. What is the second promise? وَجَعِلُوهُ مِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. And we will make him one of the messengers. Pretty amazing, right? Let's break it down a little bit. At that time, the Pharaoh of Egypt vowed that he would kill each and every born baby from the children of Israel, because somebody told him that it's a male-born baby from the children of Israel that will take your throne, which is true, because it happened. So he vowed that he would kill them all. So she felt danger, some danger upon Sayyidina Musa, who was from the children of Israel, in Bani Israel. So what did she do? She obeyed the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. She breastfed him first, put him in a box, throw him in the river. In the story, in the Quran, the box, is floating in the river until it reached the shore of the Pharaoh's palace, right? The guards found the box, they opened the box. Oh, there's a baby inside. They reached out to the wife of the Pharaoh. She looked at him. لا تقتلوا. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the love of Sayyidina Musa in her heart immediately. لا تقتلوا. Do not kill him. عسى أن ينفعنا أو نتخذه ولدا. Maybe he will be of some benefit to us, or we'll take him as a son. They brought him in. Okay. Well, a baby, right, needs to be breastfed at some point. So, they don't know who his mother is. And so, as a matter of fact, the name Musa, in Hebrew, Mushi, means son of the water. Son of the water. This is what it means, really. Mushi, son of the water. Musa, Musi. So, they brought him in, and they started, trying al-marada. Al-murda'a is a profession that was back in the day, a woman who has, babies already, or, some infants, and she wants to make some extra money on the side or whatever, so she would, do that. So they bring one, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَحَرَّمْنَا عَلَيْهِ الْمَرَاضِعِ. Those marada', those women, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made haram on him. He would not accept, one after the other, and he's not accepting from them. Then there comes his sister, walking by, and then she tells them, oh, I know of a good family that will take good care of him. And that's his mother. And that will be the fulfillment of the first promise. They returned him. He was returned to his mother to breastfeed him. Here's my question to you. How much time did all that take? Just a guess. Enough time for him to die again, not to be hungry again. Hungry again, yeah. Not just hungry. Like imagine, she breastfed him, she boxed him up, threw him in the river. It was not a jet engine ski or anything like that. It took its time until it reached, the share of the, Pharaoh's palace. They opened the box, got the wife, brought him in. One murdi'a after another. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made them haram on him. Then his sister came. Then she told him about his mother. Then he got, returned back to his mother for the subsequent meal from that first one before getting dropped in the river. Man, that's days. That's not 3-4 hours, right? How much time, sisters know best. How much time for a breastfeeding meal lasts a baby? 2, 3, 4 hour stops. 2 hours. Sayyidina Musa was no super baby, he was a human baby. How did he last all that time? For all these events to unfold? That's a long time. Shaykh rahimahullah used to say, that is the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded his mother to breastfeed him. Because when she did that meal for Sayyidina Musa, it was not rad'at aada. It was rad'at ibadah. It was out of worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, out of obedience, not out of habit. Habit, 2-3 hours. That's it. No more. Worship, out of obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it lasts all that time, and wonders and miracles can happen. You see, with due respect to brothers and sisters, if there's any take-home message, Hanam, the first one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not command the Ummah of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam with any outlandish things like that. He did not tell our mothers to, box their babies and throw them in the river. He did not tell our fathers to slaughter our sons just like he did with Sayyidina Ibrahim. No. We have it easy. Really, we do. And whatever that He subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us to do is for our own good. Anyway, staying away from alcohol or narcotics or this or hijab, Islamic dress code for women, it's for our own good. Staying away from usury, interest, riba, it's for our own good. Let's think about it that way. So whatever that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to do, whatever is in the sunnah of the Prophet alayhi salatu wassalam, it is easy. It is for our own good, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows that we can do it because He knew that the mother of Musa can throw her son in the river and be confident in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. See how outlandish that is and how easy we have. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those who listen and obey, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Any questions? I'm here. Otherwise, let's run to the kitchen. Any question? Yes. 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 Yes.
And then to, of course, celestial journey. Then back.
Yes.
Yet it was presented to the companions.
Yes.
Subhanallah. And 1 or 2 or 3 readily, subhanallah, accepted.
Yes.
I think it absolutely boils down to the belief.
Yes. And so, Brother Zahid is saying, in the story of the Isra and the Mi'raj, again, it's a miracle. But look at how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described the Prophet alayhi salam in this ayah. Subhana alladhi asra. Anybody? Bi'abdihi min al-masjid al-harami المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا. Subhana alladhi asra bi'abdihi. Glory be to who took his abd on this journey, his abd, his slave servant. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala described Prophet Muhammad as abd, his slave servant. And this is the maximum status that one can have with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet was the ultimate abd. And because of that ultimatum in ubudiyyah, in worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, look at the miracle. One trip from Mecca to Jerusalem, up in the 7 heavens, back, and his bed was still warm. Ultimate ubudiyyah, ultimate obedience, ultimate worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as per the description here. Because in other parts of the Quran, Ya ayyuhan nabi, prophet, or messenger, but in this ayah, abd. That's the ultimate. And he was that ultimate worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, hence that miracle, for example. Thank you. Very nice. Very nice, mashallah. Barakallahu lakum. Barakallahu feekum. لا يؤمن. Yes. 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 That's the sign of the Iman. That's the sign of the Iman. اعتقاد بالجنان ونطق باللسان وعمل بالأركان. Without the amal, it's not just some lip service. It has to be actions, and actions have to be in obedience to the Prophet ﷺ. Yes. 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 No, they're not the same. And that's manifested in, one ayah in the Quran. That also, can somebody remind you of this ayah? قالت الأعراب آمنا قل لم تؤمنوا ولكن قولوا أسلمنا ولما يدخل الإيمان في قلوبكم. So we're all Muslims. So the scholars say al-Islam iman wal jawarih. Iman is what's inside, right? So the outer actions, the rituals, you do them, you have Islam. But to really have, proper Iman, then you have to hammer and, that heart and those desires and that ego to make it in line, with the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And that takes time. That's not easy. Hence people are levels in that. All right? And in the other hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says that, Iman yazid wa yanqus, right? Iman increases and decreases. Does not mean that we get out of, that we're not Muslims when Islam decreases. We're still Muslims. We still have Islam, but our Iman is a bit low. So it's harder for us to be that obedient, right?
So Iman is a higher level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No question. Yes.
Separated that there are grades. Islam, tell me about Islam, tell me about Iman, tell me about Islam.
Yes. Islam, Iman, Ihsan. That famous hadith as well. Yep. Good point.
The reason I asked, because some scholars said they are the same. I just want to clarify it from you.
From what I know, no, they're not the same. The internal, Iman, the external. The easier one is Islam. Thank God it is. Alhamdulillah. Let's go eat. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Turn off. Nice. Switch for turning off. take this